Hey everyone, Temporal here, and today we are reviewing a Plat Lucio player. If any of you are interested in getting coaching yourselves, you can join my Discord in the description below, and that is going to show you what my rates are, which potentially see where to ask questions, those kinds of things. For any of you that are just here enjoying the educational content, by all means, love you guys. If you like me too, please feel free to like and subscribe. And with that, let's continue with the VOD.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Hello.
1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
So this is poke phase. You should actually default to healing aura here because this is poke. No one's going to immediately get on top of you. You're mostly just going to be exchanging damage. It's possible your Rhine will take a little damage. Your McCree will take a little damage. You generally want to just sort of be sitting on heals here since they can't just immediately appear on top of you. You're going to get a little warning. Okay. Now you think more about speed. It's true you can provide a little healing to your Reinhardt here. Now it doesn't really matter because he fell, but your Reinhardt benefits a lot more from you offering him speed than heals when you're in combat. Let your Ana worry about healing him. Really let pretty much any other support worry about healing him. Outside of Amp, your heals on him are pretty worthless, whereas your speed is pretty darn valuable to him. So if he's in any sort of fight, in any sort of brawl, you generally want to be thinking, okay, speed is what I want to offer my Reinhardt if supporting my Reinhardt is what I'm doing at the moment, and at this moment it is. When you're, between fights like this, there's not really a fight going on, healing aura is fine for him. Slowly take him back up. Yeah, you deserve that. There was no reason to go up here and poke down like this. Like, you walked up here and you poked down like this. You didn't even do a wall ride to increase your acceleration to be a little harder to hit like this. You just went down like this and went, I am going to poke into a 3v1, 4v1 scenario. There's someone up there that you can be poking at, and that's much closer to a 1v1 or a 2v1, but here you're the only thing that these guys can really shoot at. Like, they had nothing to shoot at. They're all looking this way because this is where they know you guys are set up. This is where the threat is most likely to come from, and you give them a nice 3v1. You did that to yourself. You don't want to poke into uneven numbers, and you're not a super strong poke hero as Lucio. When you do contribute to poke, you do it a lot more with a, hey, I'm hitting you from interesting weird angles, etc., because Lucio can get to interesting weird angles, and that wasn't one of them. That's exactly where they were already looking.
Hold up.
Heal up.
Here, let's pick it up.
Wall rides are faster. Yep.
I'm back.
So this is potentially okay, but again, your Reinhardt's missing health, and I'd be worried about, hey, my Reinhardt is missing health. I'm not so much interested in healing him. I could go offer him speed aura, because that would be useful to him, or so that he could get back, so that he's not in line of fire from Desire or whoever else is behind this wall that you can't see in the game. You can see it in the replay, but you can't see it in the game. My other question, though, would be, hey, if he's missing health, why is he missing health? Where's his Ana? And his Ana is to the right on your screen. So my thought would be, well, one of my purposes as Lucio is to offer speed, to help us with rotations, to do those types of things, etc. But my other main purpose in this comp, other than enabling my Reinhardt with speed, is protecting my Ana. I am the first line of defense, the first peeler for our Ana. And if my Rhine is missing health, that probably means my Ana is tied up with something. She's under some sort of pressure. So I should go fix that. Instead, you leave her to go do whatever she's doing over there, which is apparently fighting a Reinhardt with McCree, which is kind of cool that she went and won that, but you should remove her from that situation, or you should take that situation off her hands so she can go heal your Reinhardt instead. Yeah, you've got no idea what your Ana is doing. It's very obvious. As Lucio, it is your job to be protecting your Ana, your Zen. Like, that is one of your most important things you can be doing at any time. Yeah, a little slow to get on speed there. Again, your Reinhardt, when you're helping your Reinhardt, you give him speed. And in this comp, the two people you help most are your Reinhardt and your Anna. So if you're babysitting Reinhardt, you do it with speed.
Join me. Yeah, time to heal up. Yeah, let's move it, people.
This is poke phase. You can be on heal aura if you want.
Patched up.
Beat it, beat it. Why are you on heals? They'll have a ton of extra health. You just hit them with beat. They have a ton of extra health. This is a power play moment for you, or it was before you lost your soldier, which means while you have that power play, you get more value out of your beat by letting your team be fast to take advantage of that beat. Remember, your beat's going to tick down, so you very much want to go, hey, I want them to be able to use this beat as aggressively as possible. I want them to use as much of it as possible, and since it's ticking down over time, the sooner that they can use it, the better, which means speed, 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 speed. In fact, if you're popping beat, you should almost always just go, hey, I should be on speed or, and if I have amp, I should probably amp speed to support that play. Because, like, it's a power play that you're creating, and you want to throw more power into that play with amp speed. No. You should still be on speed. You still have some aura left on all of them. The only one missing health is your BAP, and who cares about him? Speed, speed, speed. They don't get that if you'd been using speed. You guys would have touched in time. You can do this health is selfish, but you can do a little bit of it. If you feel you need this speed right now, this health right now for you, that's potentially okay. The better idea would be stay on speed, but then wall ride or something around here and flip around here, etc., to make yourself harder to hit. Because even a tick of speed means that this Reinhardt is here and got another swing on this guy, and another swing on this guy doesn't quite finish him because he's got more than 90 health, but 2 swings does, and he certainly doesn't need the healing. You're doing this healing for you, and this healing for you is okay, but like it's your Reinhardt that you're helping. He wants speed, and you can keep yourself safe relatively. You're not in critical level. You can keep yourself safe with some wall riding. Or you can find moments where, yeah, there you go. Good. And now would potentially be a moment that you can go, okay, I'll swap over to heals for a second to get myself back up. But again, you should be on a wall. I'm not sure why you're... Okay. No, that amp isn't going to help him. Your amp healing heals, your McCree or your soldier. Like, it's going to potentially heal Oni-chan here, your McCree, for a meaningful amount. So, like, that's okay, potentially. But the instant that McCree is comfortable on health, the instant that he's at 90% health, 100% health, I want you using the back half or the back third of this amp on speed. Because I'm going to be honest, it is so rare that you're going to be able to save your Reinhardt with healing. Instead, giving him amp speed to help him get out is going to work way more often. Like, you just don't do enough, even with amp healing, to meaningfully help a big tank like him with that much health. So your McCree's fine. Your McCree's over 90% life. Swap to speed. Swap to speed. Okay. Get on a wall. Get on a wall. You're doing a little too much just out in the open stuff. Walls do give you acceleration, speed boost, whatever we're going with here, and that also puts you at a height that's unusual, is not where people naturally rest their crosshairs, etc. This is poke. You can swap to heals. Again, his job is a little harder if you're on walls in interesting places, if you're riding away like this as you shoot at him, etc. This isn't a good place for you to confront him in general, but the instant you see him, it should have been, okay, I'm up on this wall, I'm moving fast, it's harder for you to connect with your abilities. And you actually are a decent hero to contest Doomfist to make his job annoying, but you do it by contesting his high ground, you don't do it by contesting him in tight places. Okay, you can heal him since no one's here. Yeah, he knows. speed. Okay, now you can go back to heals because you're selfishly doing it, which is fine.
Right stable.
Move to the beat.
Who's this healing for? Your Ryan is okay. So you see that? You hear how your teammate is using an ult? If your teammate is committing with a big ult like that, in this case Sigma Lift, you almost always want to amp speed into that. Like your teammate is making a play, your job is to support that play, to enable that play as much as possible, and in this case that means speed boost. Like you should be speed boosting. You should. You should actually be amping speed boost. At the very least, you should be on speed right now, and you should pop amp the instant that that guy's bubble is gone. Though you really should have already popped amp by now. Amp speed. Amp speed. You should be doing all sorts of work. Your Reinhardt should be distracting the bejesus out of these guys so that they can't help the people that were lifted.
Up the tempo.
I can blame you for that a little bit for not knowing where your Ana is, and you're really not checking on your Ana very often, so that kind of is on you, but I'm not going to, because ultimately it's still more on her to get her nanos right. That said, you can make her job a little easier. You're just not there yet, though. Like, you in general need to be paying a little more attention to where your flex support is, because if your other support player is playing a hero that has any level of vulnerability to them, which these days mostly means Zen or Ana, it's your job to treating them as protecting them, peeling for them, being aware of them, which you have to do to protect them, is pretty high on your priority threat list.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Amp speed. Even if you can't move, you just beat it. Your team wants to do things. Your team wants to use this. Your team wants to push with this beat that you're using. Even if you used it for yourself, other people like your Reinhardt who aren't stuck here want to use it. So amp speed to help them. Okay, you got the kill now. Get out. Get out. You don't really want to be out over here. The thing is, A, you already have full health, and it looks like you're now popping amp, so that's weird. You should be on speed if you're going to pop amp. But B, if you go over here, your ore doesn't help anyone, so you actually wanted to pretty much immediately jump out and ride out this way and continue to take shots, not go in here. Because if you go in here, you're just starting to deny your ore from people, whereas out here, your ore still works.
Nothing's gonna stop.
Taxiing. Do you realize that your Ana needs you? Wow, this is the first time you've helped Ana all game. Okay, I'm being mean. That was less helpful and more mean. But let's get back into helpful mode. There you go. It's totally fine to stand heal here. Totally fine to stand heal here. This is poke phase. People are going to take a little bit of chip damage like your soldier has, etc. Once they get a little closer, you can go for speed. I don't mind if you're using speed selfishly to change your pace so that you're harder to hit as you're doing poke from weird places. But your default should sort of be heal right now. And now you hear that attack visor, so you swap to speed, and you think about amping. You don't have to amp attack visor necessarily, because I'm not convinced you know where your soldier is, and also your soldier is doing something crazy here. So you don't have to amp this, but anytime you hear a friendly ult line go off, you should think about, hey, should I amp speed this? He could get some increase out of you amping it, but honestly, I'd be on speed for sure. Yeah, so you should have melee'd before you shot there, but that's fine. Okay, so I know it's scary, like they're missing health, etc., but the most threatening thing to them right now is actually this Reinhardt, right? And if the most threatening thing to them is this Reinhardt, just like speed helps your Reinhardt, speed hurts their Reinhardt. It's harder for this Reinhardt if you guys can get out of here faster. Look, your your McCree getting any healing is not going to save him. Any amount of healing that you can do to your McCree before this Reinhardt is able to get another swing on him is not going to save him. Speed, however, might. There's a possibility with speed that he can get out, roll out further, etc., and actually survive this. There's no possibility that he's surviving this. So just like speed enables your Reinhardt, speed sort of is a detriment to their Reinhardts because it's speed for his targets, etc. So the correct support against this right now is speed, not healing. Was speed actually going to make the difference there? No, he was already too close. Principle still a plus.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Why are you on heals? Why? You amped. You're full. You're full. Swap to speed. Be riding the wall. Should have been riding the wall the whole time. You wouldn't have got hit by those two junk reactor Yeah, okay. Wall riding. That's just like, wall riding is one of Lucio's things. You gotta do it. It's way, way easier than it used to be to learn. You can pretty much just hold space now. You used to have to like jump every 3 seconds, constantly change surfaces, etc. It's easy. There's no excuse to not start working on it. It's not easy to hit shots while you're wall riding, but you gotta start doing the wall riding to get the practice, to get there, etc., etc. Okay. No one on your team actually needed healing. They're fine. They're fine. You couldn't really deny that. So I'm okay with, back there I was okay with either. As the Ryan starts advancing, I'm still okay with either. But this becomes a thing where their Reinhardt is dangerous to your team, so a little bit of speed to pull your team away is potentially better. Especially as if you look around, everyone except your soldier is full health, and your soldier I don't think is with you. Your soldier is over here, etc. So technically speed, even if you're swapping back and forth a little, speed is a little better because it lets them kite away from the Reinhardt better, which makes his job harder. Yeah, just like you understand that you wanted to use that boop to keep the Reinhardt away, that's good. You also want to use your speed when applicable to help keep the Reinhardt away. Same principle. Okay. You're gonna hit amp this time. I believe you. I believe in your ability to hit amp this time.
Step right up.
Its destination.
You know, McCree can move further during his high nude with amp speed. Yeah? Yeah? I don't actually think you needed to amp his high noon there. That's not really what I'm pushing for. I just want you to be aware of it. I wanted your amp to already be on cooldown because you used it during beam.
Push on.
So, no. You should have landed more shots on that Junkrat after you tried to boop him off the edge because it was incredibly obvious that he was going to be trying to push back forward. Like, there was no way he was going to be going left, right, or back. He was going to be going forward if he landed, which meant he was a very easy target to hit as he landed with your regular shots. And you didn't get the shots there that you should have. But that's fine. I'm being nitpicky. You have more important things to be working on, and so far those look to be you need to understand that the support that your Reinhardt wants, the overwhelming majority of the time, like at least 80% of the time, what he wants is speed, not healing. And if the actual player says, no, I want healing, he's wrong. What his hero wants is speed. And the other thing is you need to be thinking about enabling ults with amp, specifically your own ult. Like, your own ult should very, very often be getting an amp speed used during it, etc. But you also want to think about your teammates' ult. Like, if you have a Genji going in there blading, you want to be amp speed during it because you want your whole team committing hard and fast during that ult going off. You might want the same thing happening if you've got a soldier visoring from above, etc. You want your whole team going in there and committing fast. Your Reinhardt just hit a shatter on 2 people. You want to amp speed so that you can make sure that you confirm a couple of those eliminations, etc.
Attackers
Gonna make you feel better.
escort the payload.
Okay, so as soon as you clear the high ground of a threat, it's okay to go clear the high ground of a threat, but after that, remember, you're Lucio. What you're here for is as a support to enable specific other heroes. And in this comp, the heroes that you're doing the most to enable are Reinhardt and Ana. And I don't think you know where your Ana is, and your Reinhardt is eliminated. So go find where your Ana is. Okay, you found your Ana. Great. Poke Fizz, I can live with it.
Raising the volume.
Okay, you have a Reinhardt out there. Might want to start thinking about, so you amp for a second of healing and then you swap to speed, right? Right? No, go help your Reinhardt. Go help your Reinhardt with speed. See, if he's got speed, even if he makes mistakes like overextending like this, he's got more tether, he's got more room, he's got more rope to potentially go, oh, I can get back faster, I can shield and close the angle. Like, even if I've got people on two different sides of me, if I've got speed, I can shield and back up faster and be protected and potentially get out. Like, even if he's making mistakes, you can help him. And you can do it pretty safely, you know, wall riding up on this, etc. They're not going to shoot at fast little old you who's constantly rounding corners. They're going to be shooting at, you know, the big Reinhardt. I'm not sure I'm going to watch this whole thing.
Time to accelerate. Yeah, time to heal up.
Oh? Your Ana got eliminated by a flanker that you're remarkably good at peeling while you weren't paying attention. No, that can't happen. You have to be aware, especially now that they have a flanker. If they have like double hit scan, double poke people, etc., there's less you can do to protect your Ana, though you're still relevant because I would much rather you heal her up than she waste nade on herself, like by a lot. But especially when there's a flanker that wants to come in and get her, you mess them up, you pellet them a bit as they're coming in, you go block the flanks that they want to take. When that Genji dashes in, you immediately boop him out, so he's kind of stuck in no man's land, etc. Like that is what you do. It's her and Reinhardt in this comp that you're supporting. If you're really good, you know, amp in there, boop him up a little so that the Earth Shatter gets delayed, give your Rein more time to delay. I'm kidding. You're not going to do that at this level. And you weren't really quite close enough, but okay.
Let's get you healed up.
Okay, I don't mind the speed, but is your Rein getting it? Is your Rein getting it when you're back here? Now you're going to have to swap back to heals. Okay, but now the nade went off, so you can go right back to speed. And do you want to force a win with Soundbay here? Now you don't have to. You got the Mercy win. Now you should be good. Why are you amping heals? Like, you still have sound barrier up on 3 people. I hope this is just to get the McCree that you don't realize is missing health back up. And then you're going to swap immediately. Now you're going to swap to speed. Speed.
Yeah, time to heal up.
Yes, you can heal the guy who's stuck in the trap. He can't move. Speed doesn't help.
You hear that?
This is also fine. You are amping heals at a time when your team is not going to get pushed. So you're putting your big cooldown on cooldown. I'm not too worried about that. Keep applying pressure. There you go.
Out of existence.
Oh, I guess they didn't have enough.
Okay. You had the right instinct there. It was actually your McCree who got the interrupt, but right instinct. speed. Okay.
Here, let's pick it up. Let's group up here. I will keep you. Check this out.
So your Reinhardt is trying to fight. Your Reinhardt was leading this charge trying to fight. You wanted to be on speed for him. It's not your job to be in front of the team like this. If you're in front of the team, it's because you've gone on like a sneaky little wall ride flank and you're going to boop someone into a pit. It's not like a general thing for you to be in front of the team. And certainly not in front of the team obvious like this.
Let's get patched up.
Okay. Amp speed. Amp speed.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Okay. You should have gotten a limbs during your lift. With amp speed, you probably would have. No, you're amping heals during your... No! No! Ah!
Group up. Join me. Move back.
Tactical visor activated.
Oh, so long.
Okay.
Loving this.
The payload has reached the
I'm activating the barrier. The payload moves in accordance.
You're typing things. That does cost you. Get in voice chat or it's not worth saying. Seriously. And you don't have to be in voice chat. If you find, hey, you tilt less, you win more games without being in voice chat, that's fine. But in that case, typing it isn't worth anything.
I see.
So again, your Reinhardt out there at half health might want some speed so he can get back to cover. He might.
I shall seize and payload safely to its destination.
Not sure why you were over here, but hey.
Barrier is out of existence.
This is gonna make you feel better.
Why are you on heals? Why are you on heals? Anyone who wants heals can go step in the soldier station. Okay, this is just staggering. You can just spam the group up command in spawn, or you can in voice chat say group in spawn pushes 6, group in spawn, and be insistent on it.
Time for an encore.
You're even Lucio. You even get to enforce it a little bit because you can wait in spawn until the last person has spawned, and then even if people leave ahead of you, you can help close the staggering a bit by speeding the back people to catch up with the front people. So you're gonna wait for your Sigma? Are you gonna wait? Okay, fine. Finish him. Now go get your Sigma. Go get your Sigma. No! Go get your Sigma! Speed. Go back, speed, get your Sigma, bring him forward so that you actually have this 6v5 to take advantage of. Lucio taxi.
Death rat.
Activating the barrier. Barrier is unstable.
Why are you poking into a 2v6? Why are you poking into a 2v6 when the opposing team has a Widow? It's just bad math. They have a hero who can get one-shot eliminations. You don't. They also have 6 enemies who are looking in this general direction, whereas you only have 2 of you who are really in spaces to poke back at them. Just don't do it. Wait till you have 6 and then push his 6. There's no reason for you to be out here. Yeah, it's annoying that your Sigma's out here, but he's trying to dislodge the Widow. It's wrong. He should try to do that closer to when you guys are actually ready to push. But there's no reason for you to be out here. You don't have a shield like he does.
My barrier is destroyed.
Speed boost. Audio medic.
Why are you just counting on her inability to hit you? if you want to ride up and go get her now, you can do that. You should do it with speed, and you should then use walls to get up towards her, etc., where she can't get you. No, you're not going to snipe her out from here. You can use the Sigma Shield if you want, but if you want to dislodge that Widow, you can do that, but you're going to wall right up to your left on speed.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Sound barrier. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Double time. Back in the
60
mix.
seconds remaining.
Here it comes.
Yeah, someone get that payload moving again.
Barrier in place.
It's that time you
Nothing's gonna
taxied.
stop
I mean,
Heal,
awesome,
heal,
good.
speed.
Do that much more often, especially when the game starts feeling frustrating like this, where you've been, wiped a few times without making progress. Do the taxiing; it's worth it.
Oh, this is my jam.
I promise that your healing on that Reinhardt really isn't relevant, and that it's better to let Anna do it. Anna's still alive, and you keep her that way. That's one of your jobs, and instead be amping speed right now to help your Reinhardt. But hey, if you're amping this heals to heal your Ashe and your McCree instead, that's better.
30 seconds remaining.
You're full health. Why are you on heals here?
10
Go around with speed,
seconds.
speed. Okay, so your Anna is missing health, so it's totally reasonable for you to wall ride along this where the Widow doesn't have a sight line on you, go back here and heal her. That's totally reasonable. It's also okay with me if you stay up here with speed to help out your Reinhardt, but one of those two things needs to happen now. I might go I might go forward to try and get your ult and then sustain with sound barrier. Like, playing for your ult might be valid here. Oh, you had to go along the wall. Why are you going this way where you're vulnerable to Junkrat spam, Widow sight lines?
Let's group up here. Move to the beat.
You spent the time to go back, but then you didn't even heal her. Like, she's still going to use the nade on herself.
Yeah, time to heal up. Group up.
Okay, farm ult. Seriously, farm ult. Then you're gonna have to beat. Then you're gonna amp speed to try and get value out of your beat. You have to get ult before you lose your Reinhardt. You have to. Beat. Okay. Oh well.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Okay. So there's a couple things we could talk about. We could talk about you need to pay more attention to your flex support player. That's your job as Lucio. Peeling is one of your things. We could talk about you need to start adopting wall riding, but we're going to table both of those for now because we have two more important things to talk about. And those two more important things to talk about are going to be, please understand that when you are playing Lucio, you are pocketing specific heroes protecting them. One of those is usually your flex supports, which is going to be Zen, Anna. They need your protection. The other heroes that you're pocketing are ones like Reinhardt, ones like Reaper, ones like Zarya, where you giving them speed really does a lot for them. It really helps them close the distance so that they can do their pretty impressive damage, etc., etc. So, like, those are the types of heroes that you're interested in helping. Reinhardt is not helped by your healing very much at all. You can pop the occasionally up healing after you've wiped a team and you just want to, charge some ult, etc., etc. But Reinhardt wants you on speed pretty much all the time. It's okay to swap to, heal up your hit scan or something. Blah, that's potentially fine. Or it's okay to swap selfishly and hey, I need to change my own speed to avoid shots on me. That type of thing is fine. But you are a support hero, you were an enabler, and in what we had, the primary target for you to enable was the Reinhardt. That's why Lucio and Reinhardt get run together, and it's for Lucio's speed, not for his heal. So I really want you to think more about your crossfades, and you should be using a lot more speed than you are. So, but really think about when it makes sense, etc. Okay, good. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to understand that AMP is really good for enabling ult plays. Specifically your own ult, it's a really good one to go, hey, I used beat. I want to make sure my team is able to get the maximum amount of value out of this beat, so I'm going to further strengthen my beat by amping speed during it. And you can do that during other ults too. I'll let you think about those. There's, a lot of those where it makes sense. Like, hey, if your Reinhardt gets nanoed, amp speed him. That would be a great time to do it, etc. Like, that actually really does matter. So those are the two things. You should be seeing more speed in general. Specifically, think about which heroes you're helping with it. And the other thing is going to be really look at using amp, specifically amp speed, during your power play ultimates, during your ults. You hit a shatter, anything like that. You hit a grab, but you hit it from medium range, and you want to amp speed to get your team to a place where it can do work. Any of those types of things, amp speed is really valuable for wrenching open those vulnerability windows that ults create, or wrenching further open those power plays that support ults can create, etc. So work on those two things, and it's really going to help. You're going to go far. If you or anyone else have questions, you guys can ask those in YouTube comments, or if you're looking for actual coaching for yourself, you can join my Discord. That is in the description below. But if you're just here enjoying a good time watching the videos, by all means, happy to have you here. Please do feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks. Temporal out.